Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome to our show. We're going to review one of the top racing cards from around the United States. We're going to select a four-race sequence from that track and attempt to come to a consensus on a Pick-4 ticket. Thank you for joining us. We haven't done a show in a little while, but it's January and it's freezing across much of the nation. So we're going to head on down to Florida, where the weather is warm and the purses are huge. Gulfstream Park in Hallandale Beach, Florida, for the one and only Pegasus World Cup of Racing, has what is rapidly becoming the signature racing day of the winter season. The Pegasus World Cup headlines a 12-race card that includes 9 stakes races. The late Pick-4 starts in race number 9 and ends in race 12. They're all stakes in the Pick-4 on Saturday. My name is Rich Sharp, and tonight I'll be joined by my friends and racing analysts. Our East Coast handicapper, well, he might be sheltered around a space heater in Staten Island, New York, for all we know. He's wearing a giant Snuggie and suffering from a mild case of hypothermia. But Ray Torado, is it actually that cold in New York City?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's about 35 degrees. But I tell you, last week we had a chill. We got down to 4. Wind chill of minus 17, and I spent 3 days at home, bundled up and food in the cupboard and cooking, and wasn't going out. But it's better now. It's January. What are we going to do? It's January.
Yeah, exactly. It's January. And speaking of minus 17, there's our West Coast handicapper, and he's coming at you from his home in Temecula, California. Joe English is also fighting his way through another brutal January in the Golden State. How you been, Joe?
You just say minus 17. You related me to minus 17? No, that's not my wind chill. That's my bank account. Sorry about that, guys. That's the only minus 17 I have to deal with, thankfully, in Southern California. It was, mid-70s today. It was a gorgeous day today in Southern California. See, they should have the Pegasus World Cup out here, too. Let's just put it that way right now.
Well, and speaking of weather, let's talk about weather. Let's just check the weather there from Hallandale Beach, Florida. Tomorrow on Saturday, it got cloudy with periods of rain, unfortunately. High of 67 degrees and fairly windy as well, 10 to 15 miles an hour. And the chance of rain overall, 80% for rainfall of around 1/4 of an inch. Sounds like a typical January day in Florida. All right, they've got a total of 12 races, 9 stakes on tap for Saturday, and for tonight we're going to be focused on the Pick-4. It begins in race number 9 and concludes in race number 12. Gentlemen, the gates are locked and loaded, the outriders are clear, and the starter's ready to pop the gate. It's Pick-4 post time.
Let's go.
Let's do it, man. Approximate post time is 3:38 p.m. Eastern time, and I believe it is $1 million guaranteed in the Pick-4. They are going 1 mile on the main track. It is the Fred W. Hooper Stakes. It's a grade 3, and the purse is $150,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards. 10 starters, and your morning line favorite starts from post number 1. That's Coal Front, trained by Todd Pletcher and ridden by John Velasquez, and they are 9-5 on the Gulfstream Park morning line. Ray, who do you like in the Hooper?
Well, it's his nice one-turn mile. Speed usually does well here. I just look at the back pace, 79% at the meet. And I'm going to go with the local horse here. Local trainer, number 6, Aztec Sense. I believe, his successes at middle distances. He's run good in the low hundreds, brisk figures. Last year, I can't beat it. He was 8 for 8. Trained by Jorge Navarro, who I guess you have to say it's the Bob Baffert of Florida. You get the jockey, Joe Miller's 30%, for the year, and like all types. So, they run well together, and he's 3 for 4 Gulfstream, and he's got speed to battle up front. And I think going in 1 mile, on these days they're gonna tighten up the track, and I think speed's gonna do very well here. So I'll go with Aztec Sense. I know I'm beating my 2 Pletchers, but they'll be on my tickets too. I'm going 3 deep here. I do like also Coppertown, number 8. He's a Pletcher horse, he's Castellano. He ran the Cigar Mile, and this test there failed. He had a bad trip. He bumped, finished 10 lengths, 2-1 behind. But he might have just needed the race. He's coming off a long layoff. The race before that was a claiming race, an easy race for him. Probably didn't get much out of it. So he runs well fish again, 56 days, and I think he's gonna run better here. He's probably a little stronger. Now he's a 5-year-old, so I think he run well. He's 3 out of 5 lifetime. Cold Front for me, you know, he'll be the favorite, but he's trying something he hasn't done. He's trying to get the mile. Number one, he's 5 for 7 lifetime. Coming out, he's second race off the layoff. He definitely did that race. He did win it, the Mr. Prospector. So him too. He had come back from a long layoff, and he won an Aqueduct. He just used a brutal speed though that day at the Bold Ruler, and he ran a half and just called it a day. But he had good prep last time. I would forgive the Bold Ruler. But for me, low value, trying something that he's never done before. But I think he should be on the ticket anyway. So, guys, I'm gonna go 6, 8, and 1 on my ticket. Joe, what do you think about the Fred Hooper? Hooper.
Uh, what I think is that the race
Uh,
it's a difficult race, and we don't see the same things apparently.
okay.
I mean, the good thing about it is you put your money through the window, and that's how you voice your opinion. But at least we have a show to do that.
Right, yeah.
I went and I unfortunately I have a little extra time on my hands now, so I was able to watch a little bit of the racing, at least for the Hooper more than any other races. The horse I ended up on was the outside horse, not the outside horse, the number 9, Unbridled Juan. I got a chance to watch the Richard Small run 2 turns, and I also got like I said, I got a chance to watch Aztec Sense too, and I'll just say I came away much more impressed by Unbridled Juan. 8-1. He's shipping in from Laurel. He's had a little time off. He runs well fresh. He ran second in the Governor's Day, Delaware, and everybody knows how much I love the Delaware horses. But the horse also, the horse ran second in the Dixie on the front end on Preakness Day behind Fireway, so he can be on the lead. He's also been able, the Laurel race on August 3rd is a 1-turn mile. He was able to win that day. He's 4 for 6 at the distance with 2 seconds, so never out of the exacta. And if the track comes up wet tomorrow, as Rich reported in the weather forecast earlier, he's never missed the board on the wet track either. The horse tries hard. The mile shouldn't be an issue. And I think part of the reason I ended up on this horse is because I kind of see some speed going up front. I see Cole Front going because the last time he drew the rail, he knew he had to go, so he went. And the other big thing is Conquest Big E is a former, he can be a real headache on the front end. And he's getting a new jockey. He's getting a switch back to Paco Lopez. Paco Lopez's best game is getting a horse on the front end and sending, and maybe this horse needs to get some speed back, and maybe that's what's going to happen because they put Paco up. So I kind of see that there'll be some speed up front. And I think Unbridled Juan will be able to sit right off the pace. He's got a nice, cozy outside post to be able to see what's going on inside. Alex Cintron knows the horse well. And I think the horse has a lot of positives at 8-1 in a race where I'm not necessarily sure I like the favorites that much. The other horse I like is the 4, Breaking Lucky. George Reaver's hot down at Gulfstream Park. He's not my top choice because of a couple of little things. He missed a series. There was about a month where he didn't work at all, or at least there's nothing published. I'm not exactly sure where he fits, and he doesn't necessarily like to win. But he's another horse who had speed last time out from the inside. He responded. The race, the Lucas Classic, obviously he ran fast early and packed it in. So I'm about to forgive him for that. He also ran a nice race at Saratoga behind Petrov in favorable outcome earlier this summer. And if you look back in 2017, listen to me, 2017, you see Moop Tahij, Midnight Storm, Gunrunner in his past performances. So he's got some back class. But again, I just don't know how much he likes to win. And the other thing, one of the things I do like is that he gets Luis Saez, who looks like he might be in line for his second straight riding title down at Gulfstream Park. And again, Weaver is off to a good start at the meet. The horse is working pretty well, and he's got some back class. So I went 9 Unbridled Juan with the 4 Breaking Lucky in the Hooper. Rich, I guess it's going to be up to you to break the tie, or maybe you have somebody that we didn't mention.
No, folks, there you go. And I am casting my vote in this case for Ray. What Ray said is exactly what I actually have written down on my page here. So I do like Aztec Sense, although I'm concerned. I see the 7-2 morning line, and I'm not so sure we'll get that, even though there are a pair of Todd Pletchers and there's some really good horses that are in this race. Navarro, as Ray said, he's really, really well known down there at Gulfstream Park. And that name, Aztec, anything with that name in it, the audience or the crowd really knows that very well from Sharp Azteca from a few years or these last few years. But you look at this horse, and you know, all he does is win. I couldn't go off of that. So I do have the 6. Joe, I've got your backup horse as my second choice. So I did like Breaking Lucky. Was my second pick here. I like the combination there with George Weaver and Luis Saez. You know, once upon a time, we would have called this the 3 broke guys angle, and I'll move it up in class. Even though this horse has been very, very classy, you know, for quite a while, and like that, and then dropped down in class to come back up again. I'm torn right now, so I'm just gonna go with 6-4. I probably will include the 1 as well because you know my penchant for including the chalk, and I've got the bobblehead doll over on the shelf for me and things like that. Todd Pletcher and John Velazquez with a horse that's on the inside speed. I don't think the distance or the stretch out in distance at Gulfstream Park is going to present a problem for this horse. I probably would include the 1 as well and go 6-4-1. And Joe, I think you went 9-4, and Ray started us off there, and Ray went 6-8-1. All right, and we're rolling here on Pegasus World Cup Day. And let's get going again, and we're going to move along to this is race number 10, and race 10 they're going 1.5 miles on the turf, and this is the William L. McKnight Stakes. It's a Grade 3, and the purse is $200,000 for 4-year-olds and upward. There's 14 starters, and the winning line favorite is in post number 4. It's Zulu Alpha, trained by Mike Maker and ridden by Irad Ortiz. And that's a tasty 4-1 on the Gulfstream morning line. Joe, who do you like in the McKnight Stakes?
Can I say everybody?
Yes, you can. This is
maybe I'm not sure if liking 5 horses means I like everybody or nobody. I'm not sure.
Our fellow candy capper has a machine that can help us all.
It's that old NCAA thing when they say if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. So I guess maybe I don't know. The horse I ended up on is the 2. I'm assuming it's pronounced Solio. The horse has been a hard hitter. Been close at 12 furlongs. He's second in 2 Grade 3s. His top speed figure. His top buyer speed figure was earned in the Stars and Stripes back in July at this trip, coming off the benches of freshening. The horse he ended up losing to that day ended up winning the Arlington Million. Again, he's been obviously running. It's amazing that he could be turning back to 1.5 miles, but he actually is, considering he ran less than the 2-mile Alan Jerkins again at Gulfstream Park. Another horse who's excelled at Gulfstream, never out of the exacta 2 out of 4, with 2 other in the money finishes. The horse has run on yielding turf and good turf before and performed admirably, especially 3rd in the Kentucky Turf Cup behind Arklow and Bigger Picture, a horse we've talked about earlier. And the horse that he ran, a horse that he beat at Keeneland, Super Tappet, came back to win the Sunshine Million Classic last weekend. Jose Ortiz retains the mount from Mike Maker. Maker is off to a somewhat slow start at the meet, but this is a horse who could probably turn that around. The horse I picked for second is the other horse, a horse that came out of the same race, the Stars and Stripes, in July, and that was his last race, and that's the 7 Canassar, French bred for Arnaud Delacour, who gets the services of Javier Castellano. Nothing against Fergal Lynch, but Javier Castellano is in the running for the Eclipse every year. He's a minor stakes winner based on his U.S. debut, and again, he finished second behind, and another horse who ran 2 miles finished second in the Belmont Gold Cup behind the Queen's horse, the Queen of England's horse called the Mind. And what's funny, the horse has come back off a long layoff before. Mid-pack finish in the Elkhorn, but still, I think the last 2 are solid. and I'm hoping that the horse is not prepping for something else. You know, six out of 15 lifetime, and this race is wide open grab bag, and he's this was just 5-1 in the morning line, and getting 5-1 with Castellano is never a bad thing. Third choice, I went with the favorite, Zulu Alpha. Second time I rad. Second time again another Mike Maker horse. He was a Grade 3 winner, winning the Sycamore, beating the same two horses, Arclo and Bigger Picture that I mentioned earlier. And last time out, he did not have a great trip. He was closer to the grandstand every step of the way than he was to the inner rail. And of course, he was chasing Glorious Empire, who was a lone speed horse who they left alone and nobody was going to catch anyway. And unfortunately, it is what it is. But I think that's a solid prep, a solid foundation for this race. Horse who's won 6 times, who has won at the distance, has been working steadily at Gulfstream. So again, Grade 3 winner, getting Irad Ortiz, who, congratulations, was just named Eclipse Jockey for 2018. So those are my 3 top choices. I would use 2 others. I won't go into who they are later at this point, because for the show I want to try and keep it kind of under wraps. So my top 3 choices were the 2 Solio, the 7 Canisar, and the 4 Zulu Alpha. Ray, get that Kino machine going.
Yeah, let's hear some noise.
Well, TV when they say I've heard this expression lately a lot. Buy the race. Yeah.
There we go.
If you
Buy
can
the race.
go 14
Oh man.
deep or 12 deep,
I'm
however
telling
deep
you.
you're going.
Well, I cut it down to 6, but I'll be quick. Well, actually, Joe, we're on the same page. I do like 2 Solio. He is okay at the distance. We'll win 3 or 4 the money. He ran 2 miles last time. Like you say, coming back, lost by a head 6-5. So he's being favored. Been very consistent. I gotta tell you, 7 races in a row. He's been at least third, and make Ortiz, and he's got a good post. He can save ground and get a good trip, which is important on turf races over there. And actually, anyway, save ground is very important. I lose like number 4, Zulu Alpha. Looks like he needed his last. Second race off the layoff. Mike Baker or Irad Ortiz. Yeah, once again, congratulations, Irad. Very happy for you. Well deserved. 11 for 17 in the money. He got a good turf record, 5 wins, 3 seconds, 2 thirds. And he also got good speed to get a good trip. So it's going to be a nice, little cavalry up there in the front. And, it's going to be a jockey's race, basically. I do like Village King on the outside, number 12. It's funny, this horse, Pletcher puts him back on the turf. He ran 3rd in Grade 1 Argentina race. He ran behind Audible and the Holland Holiday. That was on dirt. So he put him back on the turf. There you go, Kino. Ding. Round him up. You got to light them up there. But he's back on turf, and it's 10-1. So, Village King, Pletcher, 10-1, gotta put him on the ticket. I got some long shots here, so I'm gonna be real quick here. Winter Union, number 3.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, he broke his maiden at Saratoga last summer to distance. First and second in 5 straight races before his last race. His lifetime's 6 in the money, 2 wins. 4th in the Allen Jerkins after a slow start. He came running very late. What attracted me about this horse was Tyler Gafflon, who's home jockey. He's having a great meet, great year. This is his home turf. He's 17%. So Gafflon Maker, got me to put this horse on the ticket. Johnny Bear, old friend from the Woodbine, Grade 1 winner, 15-1. I got to throw him in there. He got a trainer change. So this trainer change, Michael DePolo, wins 18% of the first time. So Kino, go bing. Pay all the numbers. Louis Size, like he says, he has a great meet. Might be the leading jockey there. He's getting some live horses. So he was blocked in his last. And he's only beat the length for second as a winner, 1 by 6. So he only got beat by 7 lengths. So he was in the race with between 2, 3, or 4 horses. So he was there. He might be waking up. He had a little layoff there. So he's 8 years old. He needed the rest, guys. Come on. And last but not least, Hunter Riley. He's been away for 9 months, but it's the first time gelding, and his brain might be on racing now. Um, Flavian Pratt, how could go wrong with him? Uh, Pratt Toner's not a likely combination because Toner's for the East Coast, Pratt for the West Coast, but they get together and they maybe get a little money here. I would draw the last two races. Uh, and But 2 years ago he was a charging sixth by 2 lengths in the same race. So he knows this race, and they might be looking at this race. He's a worthy long shot. So I'm gonna go 2, 4. What it was? Just go 2, 3, 4, 5,
Let's see.
9, 12, and add Joe's horses, and we're gonna buy
Yeah, I
the
got
race.
2,
Rich,
3, 4,
uh,
12, 5, 9. Ding,
nine.
ding, 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 ding,
Yeah,
ding,
there
ding,
you
ding, ding,
go.
ding, 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 ding.
And Rich, he only mentioned one of the other horses.
Well, I did like the 7. The only thing I'm a
2,
little about that layoff. I
4.
saw 4-1 with Castellano. I was like, you know what? Maybe not. So, but he's worthy too.
Yeah, no, and I went just as deep as
It's a
I
tough one, tough
yeah.
race.
I
It
fired
is.
away as deeply as I could in this one. I actually initially started off by
It's
not splitting my Michael Makers,
uh,
and I couldn't split in this case
this.
because I couldn't decide between
Uh,
the two of them. Soglio and
uh,
Alpha or Zulu Alpha really had me kind of torn, and so I used them both. So I've got the 2 and the 4. The one horse that did stand out to me that Ray did mention there, I like Winter Union. I like the Mike Matz Tyler Gaffleone horse here. I like the angle. The horse was hot heading into the 2 mile Alan Jerk or the Alan Jerkins that was there at Gulfstream Park. So I think he's tested at that distance. As you see, there was a little bit of trouble in that race, so bumped. And if you want to maybe even toss that one, maybe this one hits him square between the eyes. And again, Tyler down there at Gulfstream Park. So I went 2, 3, 4. I also like the 7. I do like Canassar, and I actually have the 8 on here as well. I went back to the old European turf angle with Aidan O'Brien and Hunting Horn, so I put the 8 in as well. So I'm 5 deep. 2, 3, 4, 8, 7. I believe Ray went before me, and I'm going to need an abacus to do this, but it's 2, 4, 12, 3, 5, 9. And if Joe yells out bingo, we'll send him a free T-shirt. and
I was gonna figure something out with a phone number or something.
yeah, and Joe went. Joe actually was kind of conservative here. Look at that. He just went 3 deep. He went 2, 4, 7.
Oh no, Rich! I could have gone too deeper. I just didn't want to take
You
up.
just didn't want to suck up the whole evening. Yeah, it's still it's Friday evening in some places still.
Yeah, I could have easily gone another 2 deep. Don't worry about that.
All right, so I'm going to come on back and we'll try and move this along here, and we are moving along to race number 11. And this is going 1.316 on the turf. For you math geniuses out there, it's about a quarter of a mile. And this is the Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational Stakes, Grade 1. The purse is $7 million for 3-year-olds and upward.
Yeah.
10 starters, and the morning line favorite is in post number 2. It's Yoshida, trained by Bill Mott and ridden by Jose Ortiz. And 2-1 on the Gulfstream Park morning line. And Ray, right back to you, sir. Who do you like in the Pegasus World Cup Turf? And boy, wouldn't you like to be a part of a $7 million purse?
Yeah, this is the first one too. So the inaugural, like they say. It's just I don't know. It's a good race. It's you have some of our old friends here. I'm gonna go with the horse and the rail. I mean, I think the rail might be play a little good there. Number 1, Magic One. She's from Europe. Raced in Churchill. She was in the British Cup Turf Mare. She was fully placed, and she weakened a little bit. Finished 4th. Um, you know, coming from Longchamp, running in October, running back in November. This is 4 weeks. It's I mean taking a trip, and I find it a little tough. I mean, so now she had a little more time to settle, and they're probably making the same trip, or I don't know if they stayed here. I'm not sure. But anyways, she ran 4th to Sister Charlie, a Raven Beauty, and those are 2 good horses. So I mean the month off, I think she'll improve also. Short distance, she got the speed. She could control the race, at least be first, second, and third, and have a good position on the rail. Aiden O'Brien, he wins. He comes here. He tries to win. He's a fighter. They like to come in and win the U.S. races. Wayne Lawton ran her in September in Longchamp. They finished second, so he knows this horse, this filly, and I think she's gonna do very well. She's 9-2. I do like Yoshida. Yoshida's was meant for the turf in the beginning. Started her career on the turf. She was 10 races, 7 in the Zacta, 4 wins. Won the Turf Classic, beating Beach Patrol. Mott decided to try the dirt in Saratoga, and he ran very well, and just won the Woodward. So okay, let's go for the Beach Classic. Accelerate, Gunnerville. We're gonna attack you guys. But finished fourth. Not a bad race. Fourth by a length and a quarter. He's got the talent. She's going back on the turf. Maybe got a couple of dirt races. Feel the turf, and he might run better here. Mott's 28% at the meet. Had a good meet. Jose Ortiz. So Yoshida's worthy of play here. I do like the Chad Brown horse, Bricks and Mortar, number 7. Lightly raced. It's a 5-year-old. Had little problems there. Didn't race himself from October for over 14 months. After a good 3-year-old season where he was 4 out of 6. Comeback race was a good optional allowance race at a mile. Hit it either on the track. Ran well. Ran well, surprising me away for 14 months. I was very surprised that usually it's like a prep race. So, probably the fielders are the, suspect. But this is a class test. Nice bullet workout. And he likes the course. He's 2 for 2. So I think he's worth for being on my ticket 5-1. So I'll go 3 deep. I'll go 1, 2, 7. Joe, you got anybody else here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will. It's funny. I will repeat what I heard, and I will not make comment on it. What I heard on TVG today is that there are multiple TVG personalities who think bricks and mortar, and I will use this term, but I don't agree with it. Cannot lose. Anyway. Like I said, I'm just making the comment. I'm just reporting what I heard.
No pierdes.
Well, say no more, Joe. Let's just
okay.
draw. I mean, forget it. Let's wrap up the show. If you got that,
take
I
all
got
our
your
money.
back, man.
Yeah.
Forget it. It's over. It's done. We don't need pick 4. We don't need a pick 4. We just do it that way. We get 5. Anyway, funny. Okay, I'm gonna go back to, like Ray was talking about, one of our old friends, and it was an angle we used a lot over the last couple of years, and it's the forgiveness angle. And I'm gonna ask you guys, if Channel Maker didn't get like 42 lengths last time out in the Breeders' Cup Turf, say that race wasn't in the PPs, what would he be? Would he be 12-1?
4-1.
I doubt it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say, you know what? He ran 3 huge races, won a grade 1, finished second in another grade 1 at this distance last year. Like I said, I'm gonna throw out the Breeders' Cup Turf. Enable was really good, and obviously it just wasn't Channel Maker's day that day. But if you look again, throw that race out, and those last 3 races are really tough races, and he got a nice draw, and Mott's off to a very nice start at this meet. So I'm going to take Channel Maker as my top pick at 12-1. Got tactical speed. He's not going to be far off the pace if he's not the pace setter himself. I don't think he will be, but I don't think he'll be far from the lead. So I'm going to take Channel Maker, and I'm going to take a chance that he's going to have the lead as they turn for home in this race tomorrow. So he's my top choice, and again, he's 12-1. Second choice will be the now new win machine as the 5 Next Shares. He just seems to win, and Rich had him last time in the San Gabriel. He just got up to win by a nose. Yes, it was a grade 2, but as we see, He's won a Grade 1 before at Keeneland, um, and for whatever reason, he just seems to win. And I don't think the distance is going to be an issue. And Tyler Gaffleone gets back aboard. He obviously was aboard for the day of the Shadwell Turf Mile. Again, he had a nice work in between. Baltus was having a very nice meet at Santa Anita, and he's still having a nice meet. He's cooled off just a touch. But again, I'm not perturbed about the distance. And he's 15 to 1 on the morning line. So my top two choices are going to be bombs. My third choice is another horse that Ray didn't mention. That's the 9 Catapult, who is not just traveling here because he likes traveling alongside. He's not part of the Accelerate entourage. He can win this race. He's been obviously very tough. He won the Grade 2 Eddie Reed and the Grade 2 Del Mar Mile at Del Mar, obviously, in the summer. And he was not far from winning the Breeders' Cup Mile last time out. Expert Eye caught him at the end. But again, since Sadler's gotten him, 2 for 4, 2 seconds, and again, 2 Grade 2 wins and a Grade 1 placing. Not necessarily sure I like the wide draw, but being that it's a 1 3/16 race, I'm not concerned. And the fact that he gets Joel Rosario because Drayden Van Dyke is staying at home, okay, I'll take Joel Rosario. He's on Accelerate too, so that doesn't bother me either. And he's 7 to 2 on the morning line. Again, there are 2 other horses that I do like and that I would put on my ticket, but I will not mention because we're trying to keep this show under an hour. So, Rich, for me, the numbers in order are 3, 5, and 9 in the Pegasus World Cup turf.
5, 9. And Joe, do you by chance remember what's the combination to Ray's luggage?
I do not know.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe the last time we checked, he came and stayed with me last year for the Breeders' Cup. So if I'm not mistaken, you guys ever see a little Samsonite bag, said New York Giants sticker on one side and "Let's Go Mets" written on the other side, like handwritten like that. The combination of that luggage is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's what I went in this race. Actually, I even threw a couple more at the end. I mean, this was a very tough race. I actually like your analysis there. I do like the 3 Channel Maker a lot. I do like the 5 Next Shares, and Next Shares was my pick in the San Gabriel. I do believe my top pick in the end. I stuck to the chalk here, Belmont, with Yoshida. But I'm covering all my bases in this one. So I use the 1. I use Magic Wand. I use the 2. I used Yoshida. I got the 3 Channel Maker because I'm not going to split my Belmonts. I even used a Japanese horse. I used Aerolith coming over because I'm just not sure what to make of this horse coming over here. I've got the 5. I've got Next Year's in there. Yeah, I guess I threw in the locks for the race, Joe. Bricks and Mortar. And I've got Catapult as well because that broke my heart at the Breeders' Cup Mile. I had Catapult that day. So I went 7 horses deep in this race. That's how bad I felt about this race. I've got a closer coming up in the finale, so you can imagine who that is. But I went with what my strategy here is. I like to call it. It's even written on my film. I use Ray's luggage. So, or I think you updated it, Joe, to Ray's password. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9.
Hut.
Yeah, I don't remember Expert Eye. Yeah, that horse.
Honestly,
yeah, that was a.
It wasn't on anybody's ticket. Yeah, that was. I don't remember that horse.
I'm not making a comment about Bricks and Mortar. I'm just repeating what I heard.
Yeah, exactly. Don't kill the messenger. All right, and so I've got 1 through 5, 7, 9. Joe's got 3, 5, 9, and Ray went 1, 2, 7. Imagine that, me with the Keno machine. All right, I'm going to come back one last time. We're going to head on over to, well, the reason that everybody's coming out to Florida this weekend, the big one. Race number 12, mile and 1/8. It is the Pegasus World Cup Invitational Stakes. It's a Grade 1. The purse is $9 million for 3-year-olds and upward. 12 starters, and your morning line favorite starts from post number 5. That's Accelerate, trained by John Sadler and ridden by Joel Rosario. One last time, 9 to 5 on the Gulfstream Park morning line. Joe, back to you for the finale. Who do you like in the big race?
It's funny. I really, this was a situation where I don't think I could split them. And I did a lot of handicapping. And to be honest, there are reasons that you could like other horses in this race, but based on what we saw in the Oakland handicap at this distance, I can't see any reason why either Accelerate or City of Light won't win the race tomorrow. Accelerate, what can you say? 6 out of 7 last year, and the only loss was to City of Light at Oakland. And it's funny because I still remember that as the City of Light race where we handicapped it and we had no idea what to expect. Mm-hmm. But obviously, he's now a 3-time Grade 1 winner, so he is not to be taken lightly. Again, because this race if this race were at 1.25 miles, I'd say Accelerate for sure. But because it's not, and City of Light was dominant around the 1-turn mile at the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, and the distances in between, I can't. And obviously, we've seen City of Light go 1 mile and even go 2 turns at Oakland, so we can't say he hasn't done it. But and if there's anybody who's in this race who's on his Accelerate's class level, it's City of Light. So to me, it's like if we're gonna be alive, have them both. Don't be a hero and end up getting beat by City of Light, considering he already beat Accelerate the one time they met at Oakland at this distance. So to me, it's you take both. If somebody else wins, I probably wasn't going to hit the Pick-4 anyway. So again, and they're really hard to split because the distance is what it is, and they're both really top flight classy horses. So I'll take them both. I'm just going to take City of Light and Accelerate, and I just want to see the best horse win. So 3 and 5 for me in no particular order. Ray?
Whew. Yeah, you're right. The race like this, these two horses, they kind of stand out. It's going to be a battle of the nod. Although I think Say Light might have a little bit of tactical advantage with a little bit of the speed, the first jump maybe. But I think, like you say, I'm using both. What I can say about Accelerate, that he's cutting back in distance, so he might have a little more stamina for the mile and 8. Like we said, remember, we didn't know what to make of City Light going mile and 8. Just, he's a sprinter, and he beat us. So he's proven himself at the distance. So those two horses are going to be miles apart. I can see them 5 in front of the other two, of anybody else. But I just wanted to mention, I know Gunnavelli he's been plugging away. He's at his home track. You gotta give him at least a little play. He's 8-1, but the track just doesn't suit him. I know he likes the track and stuff, but I think it would have to be a very fast pace for him to get up to beat these two horses. He'll probably get up a mop up there, whatever, But just because I wanted to mention him because it's his home track and he's been running so well, trying to get these guys, but. You have to be a suicide pace for him just to get up and really collapse. But you never know. Horse racing is horse racing, and and Gunnavelli likes the track, so and I ride Ortiz to be Eclipse Award winner. And also Audible. We don't know what to make of Audible. I don't know. He's coming back in this race off a very easy hard race. He lost at 1-9, and it wasn't because of layoff. He just, I guess, didn't get there. He was wide and. He might improve off of that, but I don't know if he's actually, at this point in his career, better than the other two. So I'll be the same. I'll go 3 and 5, on my ticket too. Rich?
Yeah, no arguments for me, guys. On my ticket individually, I'm singled, so I've got the 5, but there's no argument. If I had the money, if I hadn't gone 7 deep in one of the previous races like that, I would definitely be 2 deep here, for exactly the reasons that you guys have already kind of covered here. City of Light at the 9 furlongs at 1 1/8. Yeah, he's dangerous. He's beaten Accelerate at this distance before. He looked fantastic in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. If there's one horse that is a danger to Accelerate and he's inside of him, it's going to be City of Light. And so I could easily see him doing it again. And again, I guess maybe if I can shave off a couple of these horses from some of those earlier sections and come back up with the same that same combination, like that, maybe I can afford to go too deep here. Right now, again, I just decided to choose to single accelerate, not necessarily thinking that he's the better horse overall, and that's not at this distance at least. I've just got the 5 as my single horse here, and Joe and Ray have both got the 3 and the 5, and nobody else has got anything in there. I will come on back to you, and we will go ahead and put our pick 4 ticket together for you.
Well, I'm going to make a couple of comments if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Is that, Rich, you never know. You may wake up with if there's a lot of rain tomorrow, you may get a situation where a couple of the horses you liked in a race scratch.
Yeah.
Which means, of course, you'd be able to use both City of Light and accelerate if that's the case. The other thing, it's funny though. I looked and I wanted to so badly look to see if I could find somebody else that I could like besides those 2 favorites. And something drew me, and I hope it can happen. It's happened in Florida before. We've seen horses get on the lead in Florida and get brave.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because, Ray, if you remember when Big Brown won the Kentucky Derby and he was the only horse. He drew post 12 at 1 1/8 in Florida, and he won the race because what did he do? He gunned for the lead, had the lead, and he just happens to be the best horse. Now, I'm not saying that pattern recognition is going to be the best horse, but I don't see a whole hell of a lot of speed in this race. And I'm almost betting that that's the tactic, is that they're going to gun from the gate. They're going to try and do what Big Brown did.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not saying he's
Big
Brown did, but we've seen strange things happen in Florida. What was the other horse's name? Promises Fulfilled, that one.
On the lead, yeah.
Was it last year or 2 years ago? Where they just went 1-2 around the track and
that track sometimes they tie it up, but that track could be very, very speed dominant.
So
nobody goes there. Yeah,
so, to me, tactically, what's going to happen is pattern recognition is going to gun from the lead, and he's going to be on the lead. The question is, how long will he last?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Again, we've seen stranger things. So, like I said, I'm not going to bet him, but he's scary. In just the respect that he's gonna be on the lead. I expect him to be on the lead.
Mm-hmm.
Gulfstream is, it's got a reputation for speed.
You have to think about it. You have to think about them running big races. Because it's horse racing, guys. Yeah.
Honestly, if he hadn't drawn the 12, he'd probably be a little bit lower of a price, and he might even have a little bit of a better chance to win.
Yeah.
Considering he won the Cigar Mile doing exactly
that. He ran very well. Yeah,
Anyway, just food for thought.
Almost done here. One more second.
The Japanese horse is 14 for 14, man.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I tell you, man. They get some real characters this race.
That's the Mexican horse.
Kukalan, man.
Yeah, and his speed figure last time wouldn't win a lot of 12.
Yeah.
Right, so if you want him at 14 for 14,
no,
he's 14 for 14, and he's 30 to 1 in the morning line.
He won the Caribbean Classic, but they gave him a beef patty for that.
He'll win that. He's 14 for 14, and he's
30 to 1. Yeah.
The reason for it.
Yeah, those two are just top class. This race.
Yeah.
At this point in their careers, it's.
If they both run their race, it's a 2-horse race, and depending, it might not even be a 2-horse race. Given what City of Light's done, you've got to give him a shot.
All right, and for those of you who are watching this madness that's going on in front of you, the little color code that goes on like that. The red numbers represent Ray's picks. That's his pick 4, and the black type there is Joe English's,
18,
and in the very bottom there in Ram blue, I guess that is now. Those are my picks, And here at the very top, we will go ahead and fill in our group ticket, which is what we all came here to do.
Checking social media to see any.
I tried to lobby to get down there, but it just didn't happen. To Pegasus.
Ray, you could go. The question could be, would you come back?
Yeah, oh man.
It's not a question of whether you can go or not.
All right. And the green at the very top then would represent the consolidated picks or the thoughts of the three guys. All right. So in the first leg there, it looks like I've got the 6. And if I'm not mistaken, the 6, Ray, is yours and my top pick. And the 9, Joe, that is your top pick. And the 4, Joe, you and I both have the 4 on our top line. And you know what? We need one more here because I think we got the 1. Me and Ray both have the 1 on our top line. All right. Leg number 2.
16.
Let's see. We got 2, 3, 4, 7. And if I am not mistaken here, let's see. I see the 2 and let's see, the 4. Let's see, 2, 4, 7. Well, 2, 4, 7 on all of our picks. And the 3, that was on mine. That was on Ray's picks. There you go. 2, 3, 4, 7. All right. In leg number 3, that is the Pegasus turf mess, if you want to call it there. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. And then in the finale, we're finishing up with the 2 top picks with 3, 5. So that's what, 1, 2, 4, 6. 6 times 4 is 24. And that would be, is it 108 total?
24.
No, 96. Excuse
96.
me. 96. All right. Thoughts, suggestions? Anybody got any ideas for tomorrow?
Well, it's a nice ticket.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
It's a it's got potential to it. If you want, again, I have mine by taking out one of the 2 picks in the last race, and I just took Accelerate. So we've got a $96 ticket. It is 6941 with 2, 3, 4, 7 with 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, and then we're finishing up with the 3, 5 there in the finale. And I'll clean up our little thing up here to make sure that you guys can see it. This is for Gulfstream Park for tomorrow. Those of you who have managed to hang in there live with us throughout the evening, we always appreciate that. And gentlemen, I hadn't seen you guys in a while. It was a pleasure to get back a handicap with the 2 of you.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, it's funny.
Feels good.
Checking social media, no information about scratches or changes. Saw one tweet earlier about that they said about between 1/4 and 1/2 inch of rain expected before post time of the Pegasus World Cup. So obviously weather will be a factor. Check scratches, changes, and so forth before you finish your handicap.
Cool. Thank you, sir. All right, for those of you watching, if you enjoyed our show, check back with us. Keep up on our Twitter feed. You can still find us over at 3 Broke Guys Handicapping. We are doing a little tweaking on our show right now, but we are going to get together very soon, and we'll take a look at another exciting card. I'm not sure where it's going to be, but again, stay in touch with our Twitter feed. Gentlemen, that's all the time we have for tonight. It's always a pleasure to handicap with the 2 of you.
Yes, always a pleasure.
Yes, this was fun, and the card is very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult.
Yeah, it's a good one.
For Joe English and Ray Tirado, I'm Rich Sharp. Thank you for watching. Good luck and good night.
Good night.